Hair loss is one of the most difficult things to cope with, especially to people who are very particular about the appearance. But this doesn't mean that one should give up his or her life just because he or she lost the crowning glory. The best way that people can go about hair loss is to know what causes it. Experts say that hair loss can either be permanent or temporary depending on the overall status of the person. Permanent hair loss or pattern hair loss is common to those people whose parents had the same thing. This is because the condition can be hereditary. Temporary hair loss, on the other hand, is usually caused certain medical conditions and illnesses, which weakens the immune system and eventually affects the growth of the hair. This can also be caused by taking in medications and undergoing treatments that use drugs that can be harmful to the hair, as well as hormonal changes during pregnancy in women. This type of hair loss can also be brought about by changing hairstyles that put too much pressure on the hair follicles and using too many hair products that hinder healthy hair growth. Dealing with male hair loss. In men, the most common type of hair loss is thinning brought about by androgens or male hormones. Experts say that men experience pattern baldness even at an early age. And as they grow older, hair loss becomes more and more obvious, especially when thinning starts at the front and sides of the head. Many men who experience this condition say that the easiest, fastest, and cheapest way to cope with hair loss is to ignore it. Since male pattern baldness is inevitable due to the genes, it can be useless to worry too much on something that is inevitable. This will work for those who have mustered enough confidence not to care too much on what other people would say about them. But there's still those who cannot ignore the effects of hair loss on their lives. For those who are bothered by hair loss, the best way to go about it is to take an action, a positive one. In fact, you can do something to fix it through drug and other treatments. Although these will not totally cure it, these can somehow slow the rate of hair loss. Topical medicine such as minoxidil or oral medication like finasteride can be used. But, before you take in any medication, make sure that you consult your doctor first to avoid further complications. Going about female hair loss. More than the men, women feel more burdens when they lose their hair. This is because they are more conscious about how they look, and their confidence greatly depends on their physical appearance. To avoid a feeling of shame, there are many ways to cope with it. But, before doing anything, make sure that you know what the cause of the hair loss. Visiting the doctor to know the status of the condition and to ask for available treatment options that might work on you. One of the best ways to cope with hair loss among women is to increase the circulation to the scalp using a soft and multi-tipped scalp massager every day. You can also use milder shampoos or those that are formulated to treat thinning hair and receding hairline. To look more fashionable, women can also use hair accessories such as hats to cover bald spots or areas that are already showing the scalp.